in, I don't know, February or something like that, that it's an April show. So they don't have to ask themselves why there are not so many competitors, because the time to get prepped for a show on this level is too short. And also like Chicago, there were not so many competitors, in masters women's bodybuilding. There, for instance, one or two competitors. So they don't have to ask why is that like this, you know.
Yeah, because if you don't give that person time when they're prepared for a show, because I know a lady who I talked to, she was prepared for Chicago, and then when it was taken off the list, she said, "Well, I'm changing my mind." And then when it put back on the Masters, she says, "Well, it's too late. I'm already off my prep, so she's gonna shoot for another show for, I think she's planning on doing Tampa, which is coming up, and that can really mess up your, because your body is very most important part of your existence." And you want to be careful what you're doing as a prep, because it can be really stressful physically and mentally. And you know that from experience firsthand.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So now you won the Master Olympic qualification. What was it like? How you feeling today? What are you excited? Are you ready? Because you're going to step on with the stage with these amazing ladies in the Masters division.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I went to Toronto to just have this experience on stage again, and just to be around people who have the same passion and love the sport. And what placing you have is secondary. Everybody of us is good, and it comes up to the judges. So I was just happy to be on stage and to be in the shape that I was super happy about. I was in the best shape ever, I think. And to win was just, just a little bit more on the top of the Black Forest cake, like the cherry on the Black Forest cake. And I was super happy about that. I didn't, well, you dream a little bit about that, but I didn't expect that. So I was there. I won those 2 medals here and the crown and everything. And then I was there and was thinking, oh, and there was this big trophy. I don't know if you see that in the background. This big trophy here for the winner. I was thinking, oh damn, I need a new suitcase for carrying that home.
I know. I think one time one lady said that what she had to do was she had a trophy so big because you can't, TSA and all that stuff like that. You couldn't carry on the plane, so she had it expedited to her house, by delivery. And it got there. It got a little broken up, so you had to get it fixed later. But you got to be careful with that. But yeah,
Yes.
because you know what? I mean, there was some top ladies in your division. One lady who sticks out most definitely. A lady's been a guest on my channel before, the lovely Mrs. Robin Mays. As you know, Robin just turned 60 I think earlier this month. And also she won Olympic qualification and master qualification at that show last year. And you held your own against a woman who was just, I would say, has amazingly great physique for her age.
Yeah, seriously, like I have the biggest respect for her and the other athletes who stepped there. And she was really for 60 to have this shape and this skin and everything, this is really beautiful and awesome. I mean, very much respect of that.
Yeah, you got to respect her. Like I said, it takes a lot of hard work. Again, we go back to how people think about women who do bodybuilding. Everybody's always going to say something. Well, if you take steroids, that's how you do it. No, that's not enough. If you don't stick to your diet, if you're not consistent, if you don't train, and don't also pay attention to your recovery, your health, blood work is very important. It's so much involved to it. It's not as easy as everybody think it is or assume it is.
Yes, this is the thing that most people, when they join a gym, they think, oh, you can be ready in, I don't know, a few weeks. This is not the truth, because it's like, you have to work every day. And these are the little things that add up. It's not one single thing that makes you a champion or the best. It are the little things that are the right things for your body that bring you one step further to be a champion or to be a winner. And a little bit of luck.
Yeah, it takes time. He's patient. It's not as easy as I think about it. But one thing was about Toronto was the stories I was hearing from some lady back the stage. y'all had a time. The show was supposed to start at 10. I think it started at 10, and then at one point the finals was supposed to be at 4. Then they
Yes.
moved to 6, and I didn't see y'all do y'all finals till like almost midnight.
Yes. Well, the thing, it was like that. Usually it is like that, that the prejudging is in the same order as the finals. But the day before I don't know why what the reason was, but the day before they said like, "Oh, we change the order at the finals." So at prejudging, women's physique and women's bodybuilding was pretty at the beginning, and at the finals it was at the end. So we're thinking, okay, it will be a long day. But then it started, you know, we women, we need makeup and we need hair and everything. So actually it started for me and Branka, who was in women's bodybuilding, at 2 a.m. in the morning with makeup and hair, until we got for the prejudging on stage. They started at 10, but they had a delay. So it was like, I was like 10:40 or something like that on stage for prejudging. And then the finals, or the prejudging kept forever. They had like the finals started, I think, at 6:30 or 7 in the evening, something like that. And actually, I was back on stage, I think 20 to midnight, something like that. And it was really sad because it was Sunday evening. Next day, most people have to work or have other plans like sleeping or whatever. So you went on stage and there were like 20 people outside, and they were like, it was already cold backstage. They were packing and everything. They didn't have heating. And you're like, oh, for what I'm doing this? Nobody's watching.
Yeah, that's bad because I know some ladies had to find some place to eat afterwards because I
Yes.
think I saw that there was a post that Sheena Odik posted. She said she had to find this place. It was like a little restaurant. It was an Indian restaurant that was in I think close to 2 o'clock,
Mhm.
and she was able to find that. Some ladies just really, I think it was really hectic. I think how somebody would say you should prepare for something like that to happen. But I think usually Toronto usually runs a little bit more smoother. I think the one thing was that I think because as you know, this year the point system has changed, where in which that you for the other divisions like bikini, I think also men's classic, I call it men's figure. That's men's classic, men's bikini. That's men's physique, and bikini and wellness now have to do like 2 or more shows to qualify. And I think Toronto's a first tier show. And then also Toronto being a show where if you get your pro card, you can jump on board and make your pro debut the same day. I think that could have been it when you had so many competitors at that one time, because I think it wasn't prepared. One thing it could do is this. Chicago used to do it. I know Tampa does it. They have the master competitors the day before, and they just compete to see who gets the master qualification. And if those same master competitors compete, they can just do the open show the next day.
Yes, but in the end, they were telling us we have so many pro athletes. These are over 250 pro athletes. But when I was amateur, I was at shows, we had 400, 500 people competing. And they were able to make this happen in a day. You just have to stick on your schedule and not to make so long breaks and not to speak so long. I'm sorry, but it is, the thing is, especially for professional, you have the list of professional who is competing. You know who is coming, how many competitors are in a division, and you can make your calculation and say, listen, this division has so many minutes, this division has so many minutes, and I'm sure you can stick to a plan. So I'm giving this ball back to the promoter and the organization, that as we are professional and stepping professional on stage, they should be also professional and take care that they are on a schedule.
Yeah. Oh, we have your comments here. Shout out to here. This is I put my old man glasses on. I started getting it. He says, "This is my man Nodos." He says, "Shout out to him." He says, "Hi to everyone. Hi to you, Nodos." Also, he says, "Sandra, hello from Croatia." Shout out
Oh,
to our dear friend, the lovely
okay.
Mrs. Branka Najogovic, who's from Croatia. Also, he says this. He says, "When did you start lifting weights?" And also, he says, "How old was you when you started to enter bodybuilding world?" I think if you want to know, well, we did an interview before, but he has seen it. Well, tell him when you start, so he gets to know.
Yes, I started 2011, just to join the gym and to train, because I wanted to reshape my body, to lose a bit weight, as every woman does it, when she gets older. And then I saw there was a gym with pictures of people competing there, and I was thinking, I want to have a goal, and I just wanted. I asked one coach who was there. I asked him, "Well, can I step on stage and do a show just to be, a little bit shredded, a nice shape, whatever?" And he said yes. So 2011 started just in the gym training, and 2013 was my first show that I did. I was 30 that time. So yes, that was the start. And then, yeah, I stayed into bodybuilding. I was thinking, I can do that better. And then 7 years later, I got my pro card. And then, yeah, a few years later, got the Olympia ticket. And here I am.
Yeah, it's a journey for everybody who gets in this sport. The work you have to put in, the consistency you have to put in, and and it's. I would say like this. Shout out to my man Kia. He explained like this. Bodybuilding is not much of a sport. It's like a discipline because you have to be very disciplined when it comes to your training, comes to your diet, and then the opportunity to go something like the Olympia, I mean, and that was, as you know, that was the last year for your dear friend, our dear friend, the lovely Mrs. Helen Trevino. That was the last Olympia 2024. What was that experience like being there with her? And this was your first time at the Big O.
Yes, it is always difficult. If you are in a prep, you're at this time, you're very exhausted, and the emotions are so a little bit up and down. So it is, I have to say, I didn't really have the joy that I was thinking. It was more like a struggle for me at the Olympia. First of all, because I went pretty early to the States, 6 weeks earlier, because I was thinking to get ready in the States and to train there. But for me, it was very difficult with the food. I didn't tolerate that, and yeah, it was a hard time there, and the emotions went up and down, and I was not in the best shape. I wasn't not in the shape that I wanted to be because the body was so stressed. And so the experience at the Olympia was more like a mixed feeling. And to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed. I was thinking, because it was the 60th Olympia, I was thinking they would do something special, something to celebrate those 60 years. But it was like, it was just, you came there, you did the stage thing, and you went. It was not really an appreciation towards the athletes, and also not towards the people that were there. So, and also what I didn't like was it was very pricey. Also, when I was in Vegas, I had there many people in the gyms who said, "Oh, I wanted to go to see, a show," but the ticket price was about $1,000 or something like that. So it was like, I felt sorry, because these are people that would come and see a show, but if the prices are so high, nobody wants to come, or not. Those people don't want to come, and these are maybe the people that we need in our sport to make it bigger.
Yeah, because it's expensive. Depending on like, especially like a show like Olympia, it's the biggest show and event. The cost of the tickets, and depending where you see that. Now, if you sit at the front, you have to get those tickets like first row, like months in advance. They tell you get a months in advance, and you're gonna pay like $1,000. And even I know a couple of guys who went there. My man David, you interviewed David a while back. He went there. Also, his kid I know, his name is Alex. He went there, and I was thinking about going to Olympia, but I I don't have the funds to afford to pay for a trip like that. I mean, I think what Alex had to do, his mom had to find a decent motel because Alex is a bit autistic, and should have found a decent place to stay. But here was the highlight for me. Alex, shout out to Alex. He got to run. He ran into Ashley Jones, and Ashley Jones gave me a shout out on my channel. And that was great. I mean, I'm a fan of Ashley. It was great to meet her when I went to Tampa last year, and then to have her give me a shout out and get her lip qualification. And then the lineup at that show, I mean, it was amazing ladies. One lady that she competed against in Imperial that year, I think did Paula? No, Paula didn't make her debut till next year. And I know you've heard that she's going to be making her women's bodybuilding debut in next month in Tampa.
Tampa, yes, yes. I'm very looking forward to that. I mean, Paula has grown so much in the last few years, and it's really beautiful to see how these people evolve. And you see the work that they put in, this pays off. And I'm very excited to see how she performs, and I wish her the best of luck.
Yeah, I remember I got to see Paula in at Tampa back in 2025 when she was still doing WPD. That was the year I went to get to see her. She looked pretty good. I feel like being that she's still so young, I think she needs more time to grow, especially jumping over to women's bodybuilding, because one of the ladies going to be at that show. She made her announcement, Alina Oprah, and you, Alina, were also at the Toronto Super Show. She's got a lot of muscle density. There's also Sheena Olick. She was there in Toronto. Ramos Thompson, I missed her name. She's going to be competing there because she made a debut there last year. Sherry Piami, she's returning. I mean, and also Dr. Kina Squarey. Those women have that muscle maturity. They have really grown over time. With Paula, I don't think Paula's not even 30 yet. I feel like, because you beat her back in 2024, and I think you had great muscle density. I think it's one thing that that press judges, right, they put you over her, at Spain.
Yes, yes. I won over her in Spain. It was a very close battle there. But yes, Paula, she is young. She's, I think, not even 30, and she has time to grow and to get even better. I mean, she has grown now pretty much in her lower body parts and her back. She has improved since 24 a lot. But for women's bodybuilding, she needs a little bit more arms or some, the upper body is lacking behind compared to the other competitors. But her quality is she is totally shredded. So, and she has a structure there. So, she has potential.
But just need the time. We have a comment from a man, No Dose, who says this. He says, during this 15 years, what was your best final position?
Well, yes, I won the Empro in 24. I was first place there, and now in Toronto, I won the Masters, and I was third in the Open. So these are the pro shows that I placed the best. At the Olympia, I was 15th. At the Olympia in 24. Yeah, these were my placings.
Well, you at least 15. You didn't have to tie for 16. So take that as the win. I mean, I know we just talked about the stress of the food, everything like that. It kind of probably, maybe mess with you a little bit.
You have to be realistic. I mean, 15 places for me, awesome. I mean, to be at the Olympia means that you're one of the best of the world. So it doesn't really matter about, or if I would have been my best if I didn't have this stomach problems, maybe I would have be 11, 10, something like that. I'm not the kind, I cannot be like Sarah or Natalia. I cannot beat them. I don't have the shape like that. So I'm happy with what I have. And in every competition I go just to have fun and to do my best. It's not about the placing. The placing is always like, it comes or it doesn't come.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few competitors like yourself who say, I come here because I enjoy competing. I enjoy being on stage with these women, and I enjoy the sport I'm in. I'm not here for the money. I'm not here for maybe getting first place. It's just an opportunity to be a big event like the Olympia. You may not ever get back there again. And you mentioned Sarah. Sarah is a impressive young lady. You were also with Toronto with her, and she made the switch. And I think it was a good move. I mean, she made a debut in 2023, the year before you made yours. When you made your return, and she grew in those last 2.5 years. And I think we talked about the criteria of how, you look at women's physique and women's bodybuilding, it's starting to kind of blend in a way where you almost like can't tell the difference between who's physique and who's women's bodybuilding.
Yes, this is the problem that we have nowadays, pretty much with the shows. You don't know what do they judge, which criteria. So Sarah is one of the best examples. 1 week earlier, she won the
Imperial
show.
The Ultima Classic.
Yeah, so she won the Ultima Classic, qualified for women's physique this year Olympia. And then 1 week later, she was with me on stage and she was fourth behind me. So, I mean, you don't know how they judge. What I have to say about Sarah, she is a lovely person, really. One of the best person, really good heart. We talked a lot. I'm sure she's like a champion mindset, and I'm just happy for her. She will do her way, whatever she does, and she loves what she does, and she does it right. And she's also very young, and it was really, for me, it was nice to have this experience with those athletes and to exchange, because we all share some the same stories and have the same questions and the same topics we are interested in.
Yeah, because you form a nice bondship of friendship with Bronca, because she talked about you in our last interview we had, and you were, I think you watched the interview, and so you enjoyed the opportunity to hear her story. Well, yeah. How long, do y'all know each other before the Toronto and Imperial, or you're just, you know?
We were each following for years, and my last name is also from former Yugoslavia, and there's some kind of bond. But actually, we met the first time in person last year in Germany at the German Pro Show. She had there an athlete, and I was with a guy from my gym helping him at this show. So we met the first time, and we were like, she asked me like, "Oh, do you want to compete next year?" And I was like, "I don't know. What are your plans?" And they were like joking, "If you compete, I compete too." So we stayed in touch, the whole time of the winter. And I texted her, "Listen, I think I go for Toronto and Spain." And she was like, "I go for Spain." And I was like, "Oh, let's meet there." And then we talk a bit more, and she was like, "Oh, I jump in for Toronto." I was like, "Oh, cool, we can do this and this." And actually, we also spent after show some time together, and we were also backstage the whole time. So it was, for me, one of the best experiences just to be with her and to have some fun over all this time.
It's good to find friendships in this sport. I know, especially with somebody who's a different division. You're both, as you know, both won your Masters qualification. That means y'all get to hang out again when you do the Masters. Oh, whatever it's gonna. We don't know when they're gonna be, because they usually give us make an announcement around this time, because especially for people to get ready. Because if they're going to have it out of the country, if they're going to have it in another country, like Japan, that promoter, he did not pay the winners their money, so now he's banned from doing any shows. I think specifically, just all shows all together. I had a couple of these, some ladies on, like I had, we did a post after Master interview. I had Donna Jones, we had Cher Amirs, we had Trish Wood, Tracy Guile, Robin Mays. They talked about, they enjoyed, because I know you and Hello were together in Japan. What was that experience like for you being in another country like that?
I was not in Japan. Was,
Hello was I know Hello was in Japan. Oh, I thought
Ella
you were.
was in Japan with her athlete Sachi.
Oh yeah, I thought I was thinking because you told me. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
No,
Remember my research, folks. But yeah, I think I'm hoping they have it here in the States because I would honestly like to go to the Masters Olympia. If it's here in my own backyard, if like maybe not so much my backyard. If you have it in Florida, where you had the like I talked about to somebody, I think the perfect place would be to have it in Orlando because it was from the experience I was talking to ladies who done it when they had the Olympias last few years. They liked the environment. It was very family friendly. It was more to do, because you've been to Vegas. It's unless you are just a single person like yourself and you can have a good time, play a little play a little gambling, shoot some craps, roll on the poker machines. But if you got kids, it's not a lot to do.
yes. Now I would love to have that in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
New place.
We have here a comment from my man Nodos. He says this. I'll give you a second. He says, uh, "What's your favorite show?"
My favorite show. Well, I haven't done so many pro shows to be honest. I have to say that I enjoyed it very much in Toronto, and it's not, for me, it's not really the show because the show is just a few minutes on stage and backstage is every time the same. But I enjoy it with the people, and Toronto was very special. I liked the mentality of the people in the city or wherever you went. They were really open. They were super friendly, and the good thing about Toronto was I also got in touch with Melanie Horton from she's women's bodybuilding competitor. I met Barbara Mogen also in the gym, and we talked a little bit. They were super friendly, super helpful. Melanie helped me so much also in Toronto. Then I had my posing coach. I worked with Mona Porcellet. You know her. She's former 2 times women's bodybuilding Olympian, and she was also best poser award winner, and I worked with her in posing, and it was really a great time to meet her. It's not the show itself what I would say is the best show. It is the surrounding with the people who you meet. But also about the shows, I would say what I like, I'm Swiss. I like if a show is well organized and it is on time. So I'm sorry, but usually the European shows they're a little bit better than the Americans.
Hey. This is America. You talk. It's America. America's here. We take our pride in our country. But I understand because I think it's a little more organized. I think Americans we can be a little bit. Toronto. That's not an American show. So
No, that's
what's
not.
that?
That doesn't count. I don't want to.
Toronto kind of seem like as a bastard. It's like a little bit American, a little bit of Europe. It's how it's seen in a way. But yeah, I think those names you dropped. Melly, she's gonna be making her return to Tampa next weekend. Barbara, I mean, she's gonna be competing at the Olympia. I think I thought she was on the list for. No, I think she's just doing the Olympia. She's not
No,
on the list for the Rising Phoenix. And Mona, I remember when I went to my first bodybuilding show back in 2022, and that was Savannah Pro. And she was there guest posing with Andrea. And and she looked great. She looked like she could have competed that show that day and possibly win, the qualification. I think she already got the qualification later on. But I heard that I was talking with Melanie. Me and Melanie really cool. She told me that right now she took a step away. She got her degree as a massage therapist. She's working on that. I hope we might see her come back, because especially with women's bodybuilding, so few competitors. I mean, I know recently we heard some ladies who decided to retire from bodybuilding. If you heard, you were at Imperial, Anastasia Levinova. she decided to retire, and she's a young lady herself. I mean, she didn't do as well at Imperial because she took second, and then Portugal showed she won the pass, she took fourth, and we see some ladies in Physique start step away because if they talk about how the criteria change. For you, what do you feel like? You feel like there's a timeline for yourself in this sport?
Actually, everybody who knows me know that after the Olympia, I said, well, that was my last show. I will never, ever compete again. And then it took some time, and I was sitting at home. It was winter. It was boring. I was thinking, what do I do in this gym the whole time? And then I was thinking, well, what other hobbies do I have? There was none.
I got nothing. I just got.
So I was thinking, let's do another show. That is to fill my day.
Yeah, I think some women step away for their own personal reasons, for health reasons, or just maybe because they just don't have the love for it anymore. I think you do it for the love of it. I understand there's not a lot of financial gain out of it unless you're the top competitors like Andrea or Natalia or Sarah. Well, Sarah, she's a rich man's wife, so she doesn't have to worry about much anything. But if you don't have the love for it, like with Bronca, when she stepped away, and I talked about Bronca, she should have been the top 3 in 2022, but I don't know why. No offense to Hella. Hella was not her best shape. That was a year she had the shoulder injury. She came back. I felt like she needed more time. But, I had the pleasure of having Hella, Irene, and Gina on. And they have the new, well, it was Team 4 Pro, but then there's a break. Now it's Transformation Company. And are you still, I think you're not, you have another coach because you're not working with, you still, in a way, compensate with Hella, but you have another coach now, don't you?
Yes, I'm still in touch with Hella regularly. Yeah, still very close. It was like that when I won the Emperor in 24, Hella she was my coach then at this time, but she was qualified for the Olympia and needed to focus on herself. So she couldn't coach me for the Olympia. And then I started working with Gina. But, it is like that. It didn't really, how that is. Not every person
didn't
match together.
Didn't match.
I'm sorry. Gina is a good coach, and she's a good coach for many people, but she was not the one for me. So we had there a communication problem a little bit. So, so in the end, it was Stefan Kienzel who took me over a few weeks before the Olympia, and he made the best that he could. And Stefan is also, of course, he's one of the top coaches and everything. You hear a lot about him, but he is also not, he is not a coach for everybody. He is also he's very different. His communication is very short-term, and you have to like that. You have to be okay with that.
Mm-hmm. As you know, he's Boss Outlaw on IG. I know he also was working with Hella and also worked with Sherry Piami at one point. I think that's the thing is you want to find a coach that really understands, especially for a woman, because you want to find a coach that understands things from your body chemistry to I've talked to ladies who have to deal with things like menopause, younger ladies that can deal with menstrual cycles. Women and men are always like this. This is how you break it down. Men, our purpose in life is to battle, breed, and die. That's it. And for women, y'all are the ones who are the ones that bury our children. Y'all are the ones who take care of our homes. You have certain things about you that are just, I would say, totally different when you look at the men's biology. And I think when you look at competitors now, where it's good to have a coach that understands everything from top to bottom, especially when it comes to female competitors. Who are you working with now?
I still work with Stefan together. So, yes.
Yeah, so folks, what we'll do here, we got Sandra here and the opportunity to share with us. We're going to jump to her social media and we're going to jump in her IG. But guys, and she knows my rule when I say this, guys, she's a lovely lady. She has a nice smile. She is just really pleasant. It's that Swiss, hospitality she has. But you guys, us Americans who like these buff women, you get excited about them. Don't be weird. No weird stuff. When you follow her, support her, get her to get her IG to grow because we want her to grow and really get more attention. She deserves it. She works hard at it. So we're gonna jump into um, Sandra's IG, and if you want to follow her, the links in the description of this live. So here she is, and here she is at winning the Masters O qualification. What you get that big old smile? What was you feeling?
I was super happy about that. Really, I loved my shape. I was in good mood. I had so much fun backstage. I had so many good people and friends, and it was just a great time for me. And I have to say also, I liked the stage. It was nice organized. Also for the athletes, there was a lot of attention. Like you get those. I know it's not much, but sometimes you're really happy about a nice goodie bag. You feel appreciated and welcomed, and just have some fun. And yes, this other picture was the flight when I flew to Canada, and the stewardess, she was a fan of bodybuilding, and we took a picture there, and that was the start of a really nice show.
And she's an Imperio, which was what was you see that show was pretty well run, and I think the guy is I think it's Emilio, I think that's his name.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been doing it for quite some time. He used to run the um the Imperial the Europa Championship, but now that's run by Dennis James. He runs that in Germany.
Yes, yes, exactly, yes. Yes, Emilio has a lot of shows. Yes, you see, he has much of experience. I was this year was a little bit disappointed. It was not like 2 years ago. It was more like you can feel that he has a lot of shows, and it's just one show more. It's not that special, but it's okay. It was Spain. It's also nice to be in Spain. There was always nice weather, sunny. I had an Airbnb in the city, and there was a festival going on. So yeah, it was a cool time there.
Yeah, here she is with Hella. Who is
Yes.
these people here?
We were in a gym here in Switzerland, and these are the guy on the right is the gym owner, and yeah, we met there and made the pictures, a fan memory picture. Yeah.
And the lady we're here with the she's very well endowed. Or she's one of gym people work at the gym too.
She was there in the gym.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very impressed by her. And here she is. You spent some time in Arizona. You went to the Grand Canyon. And this looks nice. Maybe I wouldn't mind going myself. If I get a chance.
Yes, that was really nice. Some beautiful pictures there. Yes, yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, it's nice, pretty. You look like you had a good time. You enjoyed yourself. Maybe you get the opportunity. Like I said again, if there's another show in the States that you might like, or maybe you might be interested in, here she is with a lady who's been a guest on our channel, the lovely Mrs. Michelle Brent and Brett Blings.
Yes, yeah. Michelle is. We met together. I think that was. I went once to Venice to train and visit Hele, and we met in Venice. That was 2019, and we went out for dinner and had the talk with Michelle and Bill, her husband, and they were super nice all the time. We stayed in contact. She made my jewelry for the competitions. I also the jewelry that I have here now. The little dumbbell is from Brent's Bling, and it is so nice to have people who are still in this sport and love that. And Michelle is still competing. I think. I
Yeah,
don't know if she
I
wants
think
ever to
she.
retire.
I think she told me she's going to be doing women's physique this year, and I think she's working with Gina. And
Yes.
last year she finally got to get to the Rise of Phoenix. That was the year where they made it. It wasn't last year's Rise of Phoenix wasn't invitational. Anybody can compete, but now this
Mhm.
switched back to the invitational. I told her I did an interview with both her and Mr. Bill. I said I always believe that she should have been invited a long time ago. Being she's one of the few women who's been doing bodybuilding ever since she's been a pro, ever since she started competing. And here is a video from the show. We have her. and Gruber Harry, which she interviewed. I met Susan, Natalia
Mhm.
Bostorova, amazing lady who's 55. She's gonna be probably about 60 and still looks pretty good. I mean, here we'll see.
Yes.
That was Anne's also her women's Zeke Olympia debut.
Yes, and also what made me super happy was Jeanette from Sweden was also there, and we were also very close together. We had some chats on Instagram, and it was a sweet time to be with her at the Olympia.
Yeah. Also, there's Marianne who also interviewed some time ago. That was her. There was like I think this lineup was just mostly ladies making their Olympia debut that year. I mean, and you look really good. I mean, you did you run into Susan when you were at Imperial because she was there last month.
Yes, we talked a lot, Susan and I. She's also very lovely and open-minded, and yeah, I was a bit sad for her. She didn't win because I was rooting for her. But yes, she looked very good also.
Here she is with Mr. Olympia, Jake Cutler, and that's a legend. And also, she's giving a talk here. And this is for advertising for Brett Spleen.
Knezevic, Switzerland. I really throw an Olympian women's sea. I'm here at the roof on brand spring. I got here a new necklace bracelet. And there are also many necklaces and bracelets to combine here or come and shop. It's an awesome jewelry and also customized here.
That's
Hi
sweet.
guys, this is
That's sweet, And I think most every man David, he was rooting for Susan, and I felt like when she did Imperial, not Imperial, the Ultima, I think she really because that was the one show that Sarah won. I feel like Susan could have won that show, but they went with Sarah, and I think the lady who won it Imperial, she's very impressive. That's her name is Julia. I don't know if Susan's going to do any more shows. She's already Masters qualified for next year's Master Olympia.
Mhm.
There's also she lives in Las Vegas, so she can probably do the Steve Carr show and maybe try to get qualification for next year's Olympia.
Yes, that would be an awesome idea. Yes.
Yeah. I had a conversation with as again, I'm a fat man, I like food. I had a conversation with Bronca, especially in Spain. Y'all get she told me how she went out to get something to eat. It was a big celebration, but it was hard to find anything to eat because even we had to go to McDonald's, but McDonald's was crowded. What did you do for your post-show meal?
Well, I think